This video is about how to fill out a two-way frequency table. So here we have data about how would you rate our town's library services, either good, average, poor, or they don't use the library. Now, this is categorical data. It fits into categories. And this data is being divided up into several different ways: by gender, male, female, and by age, what age group they're in. Okay, this is being categorized in multiple ways, both their rating and their gender and their age. Okay, so frequently when we fill out a two-way frequency table, we're just filling in the number that we fit in each category, divided in two ways. Okay, like down here we have the rating and then the gender only, two ways. Okay. And this one is unique. It's doing it actually three ways: their rating of the library, and their gender, and their age. Okay, I'm going to summarize this data into a two-way frequency table looking only at their rating of the library and their gender. So for this cell right here, this male good is all the males that rate it good. It is adding up all of these numbers right here. Okay, if I add up those numbers, I get the number 91. Okay, and then in this cell right here, I have all the males that rate it average, which is adding up all of these numbers. If I add those numbers up, I get the number 64. Okay. The number that goes here are all the males that rate it poor. That's adding up all of these numbers. If I add those numbers up, I get the number 42. Okay, and then finally, this cell is males who do not use them, and I get the number, I add these up, males that don't use it, and I get the number 44. Okay, and if I add up 91 and 64 and 42 and 44, add up these numbers, I have the total number of males, which is 241. I can also add up all of these numbers as well, but that's how many males responded to my survey. Okay. Similarly, I can figure out what number should go here by how many females rated it good. So I add up all of these numbers. If I add those numbers, I get the number 93. If I look for this cell right here, are all the females who rated average. That's adding up all of these numbers. If I add up those numbers, I get the number 73. And here are females that rate it poor, which is all of these numbers added together, and I get the number 55. And then I add up in this cell, it's all the females who don't use the library, which adding up these numbers right here, and I get the number 53. If I add up 93 plus 73 plus 55 plus 53, I get the number 100. No, I'm sorry, I get the number 274. Okay, now one more thing to fill this out is I'm going to add up the total. Okay, the total number of people who rated it good, adding up 91 plus 93 is 184. Okay, adding up the number that said average, I'm adding up 64 plus 73 and I get 137. Adding up 42 and 55, I get 97. And adding 44 and 53, I get 97 as well. Okay. Now, one thing I like to do for these two-way tables is to add up my totals on both of, they're called margins, on both the totals on both the rows and the columns. If you add these both up, you get 515 both times, and that's a check. If you get a different number, you made a mistake somewhere. Okay, that is filling out a two-way frequency table.